everybody, hope you're doing okay and welcome to a place called Tilford in Surrey. Now I've got to come out for about an hour's run in the RC Elite just to see how they feel on a sort of a longish run, to see how much run I can get in the daylight. So it's pretty cold today, about 3 degrees, so I've got my gloves on and my tights, but I've got a bit of long short sleeves, so I don't like too much baggage. I've got an extra gilet on. It's not going to rain, but handy with a few extra pockets. Right, let's better get going. I'll freeze to death here. See you later. So we're now 4.5 miles in. I think I'm heading to a place called Chirp, which is sort of about halfway, I think. So a lovely, quiet country lane spreading out ahead of me. Here we go. So the shoes are okay. I just feel that they're just a bit too soft, and yet I can sort of feel the firmness as well. So slightly disappointing, I'd say. I was hoping for a bit more with these, but yeah, make a nice run shoe anyway. Save the next exercise for another day, or the race day. Anyway, let's check in later. So we're now passing Frensham Pond, or is it Frensham Great Pond? I think I'm heading back about two and a half miles to go, I think. Just about to get this done before it gets dark. Alright, so I've come back indoors now. It's been rather cold out there and it got a bit dark at the end. So this is my Strava for my run. Good news for me, it's actually my longest run since the end of August. So for effectively 4 months, which is pleasing. And the pace was about what I normally do on sort of a fairly easy-ish sort of run. I did sort of feel a bit unfit for these sort of runs, but as you can see, I did exactly 12 miles, moving time just almost exactly 1 hour 35 and average 7:55. I had a couple of stops to see where I was going. I actually didn't go the way I was intending to go. So this is my route. I ended up doing 2 loops. It wasn't really intentional, actually. Got a bit lost actually around here. But anyway, so I parked at a place called Tilford and I ran down here, which is called Reed's Lane, and then to a place called Millbridge, slightly down by the side of the main road. I meant to go down that road there past Frensham Great Pond, but actually took this turn here and ended up going all the way around here. So I ended up sort of having to stop to see where I was, and then navigated a route back past the pond there, and then on the way back I went this way. And there was a ford here actually, where was a car actually was stuck in the water. It actually got quite deep, so I couldn't see a way around it, so I had to sort of basically wade through. I was up to about my calves in the RC Elite. Can confirm they aren't waterproof, although they did seem to dry fairly quickly. Well, not really dry. They were actually sort of, I was able to carry on. They still feel wet now actually, but anyway. And then back up the road to there to finish, and then a loop of the green to make it up to 12 miles. So I thought I'd give a quick overview of the shoe and also a comparison with the TC, the training companion, which is a bit heavier, but otherwise is a fairly similar shoe. So we've got a bright green colour. The lady remarked at Tilford that I'll be able to be well seen with that, and I think it probably proved right. So starting from the upper, we've got basically just a normal engineered mesh there. It's fairly breathable, as it certainly isn't waterproof, as I found out on that muddy splash. We've got 5 eyelets here, and there's also opportunity to do the double knot. The tongue is actually slightly padded. It's quite difficult to show you, but if I just feel under there, just a little bit of padding, which is quite nice. There's actually more padding in the tongue here than there is in the TC, which is a bit odd. And then at the back, you've got the traditional sort of like flare out there, and there's a bit of structure there. It's a bit cardboardy, but you know, there's a bit more to it than say some of the other shoes, like say the Turbo or something like that. So we've got the fuel cell running all the way along, and if I can bend it there, you can feel actually a lot stiffer actually in the toe off than at the back for some reason. But this is very soft material, the fuel cell. Although you do it after a while, you sort of notice the plate at the front as well. I think that's why it's so stiff here. Turning it over, we've got a very minimal tread pattern, which is quite nice. I didn't have any problems with tread at all. I was going basically in straight lines all the way. I've got a bit of mud on there, bit of rubber at the back to guide you, but otherwise a fairly minimal shoe. The weight for me in the UK 13.5 comes in at about 265 grams. So it's just a fraction heavier than the next percent, which are about 250. So these are certainly one of the lighter carbon racers, which is good. If we compare it to the TC is about 60 grams heavier, and the main difference there just seems to be on the back. There's just more rubber on the TC. That blue stuff there on the right is just a bit heavier, I think. And also, I think the stack height on the TC is just a fraction longer, maybe by about 2 millimeters in my size. Now the difference between the TC and the RC is that the RC Elite is about half a centimetre narrower in my size. So if I turn it around here, you can see both these are sort of reasonably wide shoe. I think the TC is quite a wide shoe. So if you are a wide-footed runner, then I think the TC would be a good bet as a trainer for you. In fact, one of my friends recommended him he try them because he found the next percent is too narrow. But you can see that I've got the tongues virtually touching on the TC. They're pretty tight on the RC, but not quite as tight. But certainly neither shoe I would say narrow. Clearly the RC Elite is the narrow shoe because the actual last is half a centimetre narrower. But I would say neither shoe are narrow. And definitely actually both feel really comfortable to run in, just that really soft feeling. I think in a way for me that's almost the sort of the downside of the RC Elite. It's almost a bit too soft, I think. I just find that it's not really feeling like a racing shoe. I mean, if I went out for a 12-mile run in the next percent, I'm sure I'd feel like I'd want to pick up that pace so much more. And today, although I'm not really sort of that fit at the moment, and that was a completely aerobic run, it didn't ever feel at any time that I was getting a huge amount of help there. Having said that, the British Elite New Balance sponsored runners Ben Connor and Johnny Mellor are obviously running really well. I mean, they're running sort of 2:10s, 2:11s for the marathon, 5-minute mile pace for 26 miles, obviously. So it's a bit of a difference to me plodding along at 8-minute miles. It was actually quite funny because some of the segments today, the Ben Connor and Lily Partridge, who I think they're of an item. I think they lived near there because Lily is a Aldershot member. It's quite near Aldershot. And some of the segments, Ben was first, Lily was second, and I was third. I think I've been dethroned, but about a minute a mile quicker. So yeah, just appreciate that look at the New Balance RC Elite. I think it's a shoe that, I mean, I was pleased I got it, but for the best part of £200, is that a rather expensive sort of long run training shoe? I mean, I think I'm perhaps need to see if I can run a bit faster now. I've got another video coming out when I do a comparison with the Adios Pro, and again, it felt nice to run in. When I actually looked at the times, that the RC Elite wasn't really exactly winning the day, shall we say? So I think a shoe that is promising, but I think they need to work on it a bit for the second iteration. I just wonder if that fuel cell is just a bit too soft for most runners, but as I said, it's clearly working out for some. Okay, so I hope you found this interesting. Look forward to seeing the next one then. Okay, bye.